This is Pop Culture on Blast.
This is Josh.
This is Justin.
And I'm Tim.
I think Disney is making an issue recently with their live action remakes to cast people that are ethnically correct. And there was a lot of, buzz about the fact that Will Smith was playing the Genie, which, granted, he is not. What part of the world are they in
Agarbah.
Where?
Agarbah. That's Africa. That's the Middle East.
Okay, Middle East. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Of course it is.
I completely knew that.
Now, I fully acknowledge that the Genie is not himself Middle Eastern, but I think people were very surprised to find that it was an African-American actor that was going to be portraying the Genie. And not only that, it's Will Smith. I mean, I like Will Smith, but when I see Will Smith, I don't see the character. I see Will Smith. But I think the fact that he is black also is of note because people had a certain idea of what the Genie would be in live action form, and I don't think they saw a black man painted blue as the Genie.
See, that's...
Now, I'm not saying that's my personal belief. I'm saying that's part of the buzz, the talk.
The talk is that it looks like Will Smith.
Yes, it does.
And not the Genie. People have a problem with that because it looks like Will Smith.
What do you mean, not the Genie? What's the Genie supposed to look like?
The Robin Williams version is, I believe, what people expected.
Did that set the mold? I mean, wasn't there already... Didn't he already have a look before that movie came out?
Robin Williams is the... He's the template. He's the mold. Will Smith in an interview even said there's no way he can even remotely touch what Robin Williams did for the animated version of Aladdin.
Nor should he try.
No.
He's admitted flat out, I cannot do that. That he is him. I'm going to do my perspective of this character, of this live action version. And the people have the problem. First, it was the problem that he wasn't blue. Because the first look was him in disguise as, I'm assuming, Prince Ali's advisor at that time when he was hiding as a normal person. So that was like the first shot of him, and the people were pissed because he wasn't blue. And now people are mad because he looks too much. It looks like Will Smith.
It sounds like much ado about nothing. This is almost like, do you remember when the Force Awakens trailer came out, the first teaser, and it was a black guy stormtrooper?
Oh, that was the first thing anyone saw.
I was like, what's the big deal?
The internet collectively lost their shit.
Can brothers not be stormtroopers?
See, you'd think
I didn't get it. I was completely lost.
You'd think they have the bigger problem with the fact that these guys actually hit people. I mean, no one mentioned that.
What do you mean?
What do you mean hit people?
They shot people. They actually hit them.
The stormtroopers.
You mean
the
their aim was
stormtroopers
good.
could shoot. Yes.
They hit their targets.
Oh, well, unless when they're going up against a main character, then they suck.
Yeah, of course, naturally. Yeah. But okay, so that's why I suggested bringing it up.
I really don't think it should mean anything. I think this is silly to bring up. I don't think Aladdin is untouchable. I don't think it's... I'm not a fan of Aladdin. I never cared for it.
Well, I think...
I'm not saying that it's not a decent movie, and it doesn't... a lot of people like it. I don't think that you can sully the waters of it, per se.
Honestly, my biggest problem with it is the fact that he has a shirt.
A shirt?
A shirt?
In the entire movie, he wears a vest, and that's it. Until he becomes Prince Ali, he wears a vest. That was the whole movie. He's supposed to be so poor he can't afford his own shirt.
Wait, do you mean Aladdin?
Aladdin.
Oh, I see what you mean. I do remember.
A lot of people were upset about it, too. Every time something comes out new about it, people just overreact and flip out.
Well, I personally haven't seen any of the news where people talked about Aladdin or Jasmine or anything like that. It's been all about Will Smith. But I think that's because... Aladdin, Jasmine, whoever else, the other humans in the movie are relatively close, live action counterparts to their animated versions. But the problem with the Genie was that the Genie was, he was humanoid form, but he was certainly not human in his appearance. I mean, he was very large, he was blue, he was never intended to be mistaken for a human, you know what I mean? So unless they had gone full CG with this, any human outside of Robin Williams that they put in his place was going to be criticized, and that's certainly what they're getting into.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Any human actor will have that issue, right?
Yeah, I mean, Tim, don't you think that
black or white or
black
brown
or white,
or yellow,
anyone, and I'm not against Will Smith. I think anyone trying to fill that role was destined to be attacked.
Of course,
Tim, I'm less of a fan of Aladdin, but I know it is more of interest to you. Would you have rather seen the Genie done just full CG and have someone either do the audio or even take Robin Williams' audio or audio tracks and throw it in?
Personally, no. I wouldn't want to see them take Robin Williams tracks and throw a new version of it. I don't want that. That's not. I want a completely different one. If it couldn't be him, that version needs to just be locked away and set aside. That is the one thing that I believe in Aladdin that was untouchable. Was Robin Williams' performance. Everything else could have been completely replaced. Every single person, everything else. Robin Williams was the one.
Well, I think that's probably what Josh was inadvertently saying, was that Aladdin, the movie, isn't necessarily untouchable. Robin Williams and his performance was untouchable, and that's where it's come under fire.
Especially since he died.
Oh, well, yes. Especially
was it
then.
3 years ago, maybe,
Roughly,
that he died?
Roughly.
If he was still alive, I don't think people would be as upset.
Maybe not, especially if he gave his blessing.
Because he
on
died
it.
tragically, too.
Yes.
Robin Williams honestly would have given he's doing his best at it. You guys need to back off. Let him do it. It's going to be a different version. He even said that. He would have said that.
I wonder if they would have tried to get Robin Williams for it and paint him blue.
I don't think they paint him blue.
I don't know.
I think they do because he's CGI. Will Smith, he's not just painted blue. They CGI'd him.
Yeah,
they just have his face.
I don't think so. I mean, I understand that they may have considered that if Robin Williams was still alive, but I think Robin Williams would be against that. I think he would say, look, that was my performance then. I'm not the same person I was. I can't tap into that again.
That's actually funny you should say that, because I saw it was a little behind the scenes on the technical side, the guys that actually do the recording for voiceover people. And this guy was telling a story about how in his business, he's literally one of the operators of the machines, behind the glass wall. And he was saying that he was part of the crew doing Aladdin. And Robin Williams was doing his stuff. And this guy messed something up. Hit the wrong button, whatever, and they had to call cut. And Robin Williams is in the middle of one of his crazy antic things, and Robin Williams pulled him aside. He said, I understand, man, I'm not like trying to be mean to you or anything, but he said, look, I can't replicate this. He said, whatever we just lost, that's gone. I can't do it again. He said, when we yell action again, it's gonna be a completely different performance, different lines. So please do your best to not let that happen again, because I can't do it again. So, like, to parrot what you're saying, Josh, yeah, if they came to him now, if he was alive, he probably would pass on it, because, like you said, that was a time and place kind of a thing.
Let me ask this. Is there... who are the other actors in this movie?
I don't really know.
Are they white?
No.
No, they are Middle Eastern.
Yes.
Or they're not Caucasian, let's say that.
Well, that was a big thing.
I know the girl is one of the Power Rangers in the new Power Rangers movie. That's Jasmine. Her name's escaping me at the moment.
I thought you were going to say the Pink Ranger.
No.
What was her name?
Kimberly
Jo Jackson or something?
Oh, Amy
Jo Johnson.
Amy Jo Johnson. God, we're nerds.
Kimberly Jo Jackson.
She was the...
Kimberly was her character.
She was the hot one. So.
Yes, she was.
Nobody... I mean... okay. Anyway.
But, this gets me thinking about the live-action remakes in total that Disney has really been working on lately.
Before you go on that, let me go back to the actors' ethnicities, because this was an issue. This was about whitewashing.
That's been a big
Disney
issue
was
in
whitewashing
Hollywood lately.
or
yes.
just Hollywood was whitewashing things. So they're not doing that.
They're making sure to pick actors that are at least visually representative of the people in that area. I just rewatched Touch of Evil, where, to quote Get Shorty and John Travolta, hey, do you want to go see Charlton Heston play a Mexican? And that would be horribly offensive today. Like, you could not get away with that. And given that there's been a lot of talk lately in the Hollywood buzz, not just Disney, of whitewashing, I think Disney is very, very aware of it and certainly not doing that. But like I said, Will Smith, you can do that with an African American actor. You could not do it with a white one, even though the genie is magic. So, he kind of falls out of that. But
what do you mean can do? Do you mean can put someone in blue paint?
I think you can put Will Smith in blue paint and get away with it. If you put, honestly, and I'm not saying this is fair, you couldn't put a white actor in that role.
I don't think so. I think when you were talking about actors, I thought, who would be a good
Genie?
Live Genie in blue paint, and he's a white guy.
Okay.
It would be Hank Azaria.
I don't think he's,
You disagree?
Does he do actual live action?
Sure.
Yeah, well, but he does. He's a man of 1,000 voices, isn't he? I mean, he is. Yeah. He's animated.
But I wouldn't call him strictly Caucasian white. He's definitely mixed, which would give him that entry point.
He looks white.
I'm saying a straight cookie cutter Caucasian white guy, I think, would come under fire because this is even though the genie
looks
is
white
not
enough.
Well, yes, okay, but the point being is that fans have held on to what they think this character should be in live action form. So like we said earlier, any actor, white, black, brown, whatever, is going to come under some sort of fire because they're doing the genie, and that's a big deal. It's like, do you remember the ruckus when they announced Chris Pine as Captain Kirk? They're like, what? That's insane. We got nothing against Chris Pine, but that's Captain Kirk. There's only one. It's that sort of thinking. And to get back to the whole remake idea, look at The Lion King. You know what they're doing with that? Guess who's playing Mufasa? James Earl Jones. He's coming back and doing it again because
nobody can be.
There's no
Exactly.
no one who else can do Darth Vader but Darth Vader. It's the same thing.
Right.
So there's some voices and some roles that are untouchable, and he's still out there acting. So just get James Earl Jones, But you know what they did not do? They did not get Matthew Broderick or Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Okay.
They cast a black actor to play Simba, and I think that was a very conscious decision. And it's Lando. What's his name? From Solo.
I know who you're talking about.
Glover.
His rap name is in my head right now. Childish Gambo.
I didn't know he was a rapper.
Gambino, yeah.
But point being is that, and nothing against him as a performer at all.
Isn't it
but
Donald Glover?
Donald Glover. They, I think, made a very conscious choice to get an African American actor to play a character, even though they're animals. The characters in The Lion King, they still chose black actors to voice these characters.
Hold on. I've got to plead ignorance about this. I don't know anything about this live action Lion King.
Oh, you didn't
Wait,
know.
they're
okay.
animals, but they're people?
Okay,
I'm
no.
confused. Are they voices?
No, I was clarifying my statement when I said that.
Okay.
What I mean is,
Are they going to be on all fours?
No.
Is that what you're getting at?
You misunderstood what I'm
Is this
saying.
going to be cats?
No, you misunderstand what I'm saying. It's going to be CG. It's made to look photoreal. I was simply clarifying.
But they are animals.
Yes, that's what I meant when I said that they cast black actors to play these characters that are in Africa. However, they are not humans that they are portraying. They are portraying animals. So it technically shouldn't matter what race the actor is that's doing the voice, but it does. So they're making sure to cast black actors. Not that that's a good or bad thing, just a thing. Any thoughts on that, Tim?
Well, they do have the one who's not from Africa, and that's John Oliver.
Who's he playing?
Zazu, the bird.
Yeah.
But
Who's John Oliver?
Who's John Oliver?
Seriously?
Very serious.
Is he the guy in the news?
He's an actor. He does his big thing right now is HBO Last Week Tonight.
Yeah, I thought there was
Yeah.
a news thing with him. I knew that name.
He has a show on HBO.
Okay.
And he went up with Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert and stuff like that. They worked together for a while. Mm-hmm. And then HBO gave him his own show. He was on The Daily Show for a bit as a correspondent.
Yeah, I knew his name. But Tim, do you have any thoughts of the idea that they're having to be, for lack of a better phrase, race specific for something like The Lion King or even Aladdin?
Because of the fact that there are times when they cast a Caucasian actor, and then they, within the storyline itself, they give a reason why that person is white instead of what the character originally was. People still don't care. They just saw, oh my God, you put Scarlett Johansson in this movie, and they're like,
oh, wasn't that the Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, that was one of the big ones recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but that was within the plot. The reason why she looked like her and she wasn't Asian anymore, the character itself. But people didn't care. All they saw was you put a white girl in an Asian role movie.
But see, I think you are a perfect example of, you're someone who watched the movie, you paid attention, you understood the reason. I would guess that a lot of people that were raising a stink about it never even saw the movie.
Of course not.
Just like people that complain about Howard Stern don't even really listen to Howard Stern. You know what I mean?
They literally boycotted the movie because they did that without being within the old plot. And the other thing is, like you're saying, the animals, it doesn't matter that they're animals. They've proven that it does. The Dragon Ball movie, that piece of crap that came out, the character who played Goku was white.
Oh, that's right.
It's the same with The Last Airbender.
Yeah, well,
Right.
no, he was actually an albino Asian.
Well, they had white kids in that.
Yes, they did. But this was a different thing. He wasn't Asian, he's an alien. So he wouldn't have to look Asian because he's not from Earth. That's like the whole thing where it shouldn't matter that they're animals, therefore they have to be from Africa.
I agree. It shouldn't matter. I think
It does, because they've proven within these movies that it has to be specifically because of that.
Well, I think you really hit the nail on the head. It shouldn't matter, but it does. I think that's fairly accurate. What do you think, Josh?
Well, in general, or just
In general.
Will Smith?
No, not just Will Smith, but
Well, that's how this started.
like The Lion King, they went and got James Earl Jones. Did they even talk to Matthew Broderick? I don't think so.
No.
Well, Matthew Broderick does not have an iconic voice.
Well, I think I don't know.
I think he has some iconic roles.
Yeah,
Okay,
But an iconic voice, no.
But he did play
There's
that
nothing wrong
character.
with his voice. Yes, he did play that character,
And
but
he still sounds the same.
he's not James Earl Jones.
but he does
Granted.
not have the voice of God.
No,
he-
he does.
So it's
James Earl Jones does have the voice of God.
so, and he can't help that. James Earl Jones can't
No,
help that.
of
He
course
was
not.
born with it.
I know.
You know?
he just uses what
So
he has, man.
was Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne. He's also got kind of one of those God
definitely.
voices.
Oh, definitely.
And the Allstate guy, whose name escapes me.
Oh yeah, from Major League.
Yeah. Up your butt, Joe
Up your
Boo.
butt, Joe Boo.
But
It's very bad to drink Joe Boo's rum.
love that movie. Hated sequels. Love that movie. But
Say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball.
the other thing is that a lot of people are complaining and saying that The Lion King itself is not live action because they're CGI animals, and I argue against that. Based on the fact that with what the technology is today, those actors are going to be right there doing the role.
You mean
Right,
like
it's-
motion capture?
Motion caption, all that stuff.
It's going to be along the lines of that Jungle Book thing that they did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Jungle Book, I mean, the lead, the boy, was really there. I mean, a lot of what's around him was
But,
CG, sure, but
It'll have that.
but this
or
won't
that
have any
feeling.
people. It's all CG.
It's all CG animals.
Everything. I mean, it's not like they're going to go out to Africa to do motion capture. They're going to do it all in a studio. Everything will be CG'd.
I don't mind an updating. On this
I don't
one.
mind it, but I do say it's an animated film.
Oh, if it's CG, it's definitely animated.
It's animated, even though it's animated to look real.
I disagree because these actors are going to be going through everything they did. Is
But
that
by
like,
that logic, what's that movie, Beowulf, that Zemeckis did? Or Polar Express. Those aren't live action.
those are straight CGI recreations. They weren't designed to be live action. They were always animated. You think they were on a train the whole time? These guys are gonna have the stages set up
What,
to
the
be
Lion
able,
King people?
Yeah, they're going to be there. It's not just going to be sitting there scanning their head while they talk. It's like what Mark Ruffalo does when he's the Hulk. Are you saying he's not the Hulk? He's there the whole time. They have that stick where his head's supposed to be.
He's the Hulk, but but the Hulk is not a live action character. I mean, no matter how cool they make him look, he's still CG.
Yes, he's still CG, but all the facial tics, everything is Mark Ruffalo.
I get what you're saying, but I would also counter that with the argument that straight up 2D hand-drawn animation, those guys, have you ever seen what they do? They sit with a mirror at their desk, and they'll make the expressions, and they'll do their best to kind of mimic it and mirror it to make it as real as possible. That's kind of like motion capture, kind of.
But it's not, though, because mimicking, and that is not it. This is literally what they do. When it moves, their mouth moves, everything. It's like taking a 3D scan and just putting someone else's face on it. Everything they do is still them.
I get it, and I'm all for a real actor doing the performance, but I still say the movie that we're going to ultimately watch, and I'm going to totally watch it, I'm still watching a cartoon of a sort. Still, don't you think?
Well, I think there's some interesting disagreement in the room. Where do you
draw
the line? When does it become less of the actor and more of?
Well, I mean, Andy
CG?
Serkis is like the poster boy for motion capture. And his work, I mean, I've seen him do his work on like the Planet of the Apes movies. It's fantastic. And I do agree with you that the performance he gives in that suit, that really represents what we end up seeing on screen. I mean, I get it. But like Josh said, where is that line? Where do you...
The problem is with the more advanced technology that comes out compared to the first original Avengers to where they got later, where he had to, in the first one, Mark Ruffalo had to sit there with his head in a box and they had to scan him the whole time. Now he can actually be on set. Mm-hmm. The technology is blurring the lines to where animation ends and the actual actor begins.
What about Rogue One with Grand Moff Tarkin? I mean, that actor wasn't even alive, and he still has a performance that would tend to fall into the same camp.
That was sacrilege.
Yeah, but that was also superimposing someone's face on another person's body.
But it's still his performance.
Yes, it was a CGI created performance. This is the reverse.
No, they motion captured a guy.
Yeah, they motion captured a guy, and it wasn't him though. And then they just put his face on him. But
I think they used, just like Andy Serkis, they mocapped his facial expressions and then just put Grand Moff Tarkin over it. So that's his performance.
Then that is his performance. Exactly.
So what are we watching? Are we watching a CG or are we watching an actor's performance?
We're watching an actor's performance.
And does that make it live action?
CG, that was live action. Because an actor performed and made... Just because it's like wearing dresses. We get to the point to where we can put a full hologram around a person. Everything that person does is a character. That's just the outfit they're wearing. That's their costume for the day, in my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't know if I'm on the same page.
I'll settle it between the two of you. You're both wrong.
Thank you.
Well, we have a few minutes left.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to talk about with these remakes, with live remakes of previously? Because I was about to say, well, The Lion King isn't a live remake. I'm not going to go down that road again. But
what else is in the pipeline?
We had Beauty and the Beast recently, right?
Yes,
which was good.
Cinderella
and actually fixed a lot of the problems in the animated version.
Snow White.
The live action Beauty and the Beast was absolute garbage.
Snow White, right? Didn't we have Snow White? We had
Snow White wasn't Disney though.
What's the mirror? What's the mirror one? What's that?
Snow White wasn't truly Disney.
Snow White. What?
It wasn't truly Disney.
What are you talking about?
Maleficent 2?
Well, should it matter? Does it matter if it's Disney or not that it's getting remade?
Well, technically, yes, because they're remaking the cartoons that they created.
Yeah.
The Snow White with Kristen Stewart was the story of Snow White. But yeah, Maleficent 2 is coming down the pipeline.
Yep.
So they're making a sequel to that.
But part 2 is not... Even Maleficent isn't a remake of one of their animated. It's a prequel of a sort.
Technically, Maleficent was
at the same time.
Was a retelling of Sleeping Beauty.
From her point of view. That was at least an interesting way to do it. I didn't think much of the movie, but at least it was interesting.
Which, to go back to The Lion King, which is what hoping that they're going to do, which is not a complete replication of this the 90s movie.
Well, you saw the trailer, right?
I didn't.
It was a shot-for-shot remake of the opening of the
Okay,
movie.
that disappoints me. Well, okay, if it's a shot-for-shot, because Lion King, as far as I know, is very derivative of Hamlet, as far as I know.
Yes.
So if you're going to make an updating, make it a very serious telling. No music, no jokes, just a very serious story.
No one
And
would
that-
go see that, though.
Well, I'm saying, just if you're going to remake it, go in a different direction. Don't
Yeah.
give me a duplication of it. That's
Well,
all.
with just the one trailer, we don't know what it's going to be because they could have done that shot-for-shot remake
Just
for
to
the trailer to be like get
our
people
attention.
interested
Yeah.
into it.
And, for the Jungle Book, for the most part, I enjoyed it. I actually felt the introduction of the music took me out of the movie because I felt like this was a more gritty, real version of that. And then they start singing, and I'm like, what?
I didn't like the end myself. The Jungle Book, I hated the change in the ending. Not just the animated version of the Jungle Book, but the story itself did not end that way. Where Mowgli decided to stay in the
Do you
jungle.
think this is going to keep going?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like
What's next?
The live action comic book.
They're working
thing
on
that got started.
They're working on casting a live action Little Mermaid. That's next. I mean, they're knocking out the big ones, the
And
classics.
they're aiming for Zendaya, so that's going to be fun.
And there you go. That's when we're going to run into another race issue again.
Wait, what?
Zendaya?
Zendaya?
From The
Spider-Man?
Greatest Showman.
Spider-Man Homecoming?
I'm
He's
completely
out of his
lost.
element.
What?
Those are the
Shut
only
up,
things.
Donnie. You're out of your element.
She is let's just say she's a non-white actress, and people are already up in arms going, Ariel's white.
See, I
You
don't
know?
have a problem with that. I have a problem with the fact that she wouldn't look good as a redhead.
Well,
You have
I
to
don't
make
think
Ariel
they'll make
a
her a
redhead.
redhead at all.
Well, no.
She won't look good as a redhead.
Because the color coded of the daughters were the 7 Cs.
Well, that's
so you have
Fair
that's
enough.
the whole thing.
this is a trend. It's just a trend. I mean, they're like, well, let's take somebody who's classically white and make him not white, like James Bond. It's like James Bond is a British white
Look
guy.
how people
like,
are going crazy thinking he's going to be recast.
Well, I don't care. Like you brought up the great idea. Just have it not be James Bond.
Have him be 007.
008
or sorry,
something.
008, 005.
Yeah, like let him be an
Make a shared
MI6
universe.
agent. But
I
yeah, not James Bond. I'm like Sulu is not gay.
I know.
He was not gay.
George Takei
Even
is
George
already-
Takei said, "I'm not gay," and the Sulu's not gay.
He said, "I didn't play him as gay. I don't know why you made him."
I know.
Just
That's
because
a
I'm
perfect
gay,
example
I'm not Sulu.
of them trying to bring in our modern day stuff into these movies, and even
Well,
fans, even the actor was like, "No,
They're
that's wrong."
they're just trying to be more inclusive, and I
I
understand
get it.
that.
No, it's like these studios just read a book or an article saying like people like diversifying now, and let's get a bunch of. That's great, but it's like they're just doing it to plug it in.
Yes,
like
and
it's
that's
not because
where-
they care.
that's where it becomes a problem.
Exactly.
Yes.
I personally don't care if they change an actor's race. Just don't make it that issue.
As long as there's a reason for it, or if it's not,
like,
in my opinion, a character like Bond, it's established. He is what he is, But The Little Mermaid, it was one freaking movie. Whatever. If
actually,
it's Zendaya, I don't
was
care.
It was 3 plus Christmas specials, and the
Okay,
fact that
there
she's
you
a
go.
full Disney princess.
That's
and
why
all the
you're
marketing.
here. Tim. That's why you're here.
He's not reading this.
Bad
off of it,
example.
just knows.
Bad example.
I just know this. Yeah. I'm me.
But James Bond isn't. I mean, we're talking like 30 movies.
Well, but the other thing is the fact that it's his character.
Yes.
That we know it's just a code, and he has to look a certain way in order to fit.
Yeah.
That we know James Bond is this, this, and this.
Well, I think this certainly got lively towards the end here. So, just a final thought, Josh. Live action Disney remakes. Are they worth even doing? Should anyone care? Should they even be touched?
I don't mind them doing them as long as they take a chance and do something different. Like I said, which whether or not The Lion King turns out to be something different, I can't say for sure. But I like the idea of seeing something that was family friendly turn into something dark, but not just for the sake of it. Like have a point,
Right.
So it doesn't offend me. They can keep doing it just as long as they don't overstay their welcome.
Okay. Tim, final thoughts? Disney remakes?
I think they're going to make them because they make money.
Huh.
And they've, so far, every remake, they have put new twists on them themselves. And they've still had the same basic story structure, but they've added something new. Or they fixed things that were wrong in the cartoons, like questions people had with Beauty and the Beast, which they fixed. They were finally able to take care of why no one remembers him, why all that stuff. If they can do it to where it's not 100% the same, but the structure itself is still intact, I will enjoy them.
Okay, fair enough. Do you think they're sacred? Shouldn't be touched? Some of these are classics.
It depends on not only what, but who.
Who's doing it?
Who's doing it? Robin Williams is sacred and can't be touched. That's been established. Let's just face it. But a lot of the Disney movies, there aren't totally 100% icon proof, don't touch this role.
Okay.
Most of them don't have that, in my opinion.
All right.
I would have thought the voice of Ariel was... But anyway, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Funny you should say it. I mean, I think that's a very good point. I think the voice of Ariel, the voice of Belle, they are really good voices.
Isn't that the same person?
No, different people. They do sound similar. Okay. I think when you get into movies like The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast, these are modern day classics. And to remake them in live action form, like I think I'm going to agree with Josh. I don't mind seeing it done, but do something a little different with it. Don't make it dark for the sake of being dark, but don't just change everything just to change it. Make it something special. And at this point, I mean, even though I didn't care for Maleficent, at least they dared to do something a little different, and I applaud them for that. But I do think there's a certain point where, especially with any classic movie, whether it be animated or live action, you get to a point where people, these are dear to people. And when you start remaking it, you're going to start getting into different interpretations, and that's when it gets risky. And at that point, it almost takes the fun out of it. And maybe you should just let it be. Either that or just flat out remake it. And when I say remake it, reimagine it. Do it different. Don't mimic it. Don't do that at all. And then I don't feel an attachment to it. I don't feel an attachment to Chris Pine, because Chris Pine is not doing William Shatner's Kirk. They're two different characters, in my opinion. So Lion King should be vicious and bloody, and these animals are killing each other and all that. It's a scary world. Give me that. But not just to do it. Give it because that's the world that they live in. I don't want to see Jungle Book people singing. Took me right out of the movie. But that's just my opinion. So, all right, with that, I guess we'll say goodnight. This is Justin. Bye.
Well, if you like the show, don't forget to give us a rating in iTunes, preferably a 5-star one, and leave a comment if you like. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You can also email us at pconblast@gmail.com or visit our website. Until next time, I'm Josh. Thanks for listening.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Tim.